Tuning into my channel. So today we're going to be cutting a blazer. So the blazer has been interfaced already, so we're going to be joining the back panel together, the center back. We're joining it by the neck area, so we are joining it by the allowance that we already added to the pattern. So I'm joining my by half an inch. So I'll sew it down. So I also did that to the lining. Anything you do to the main fabric, please repeat that to the lining. So I'm doing that to the lining too. So as you can see, I've done that to the lining. Then you join the side together. So I use the shoulder dart. You can use a bust dart, any dart that you prefer, but I use a shoulder dart. That was why I'm joining it by the shoulder. So you also join it by the allowance you left. So I joined by half an inch, and I did that to the other hand too. So I joined it down to the fabric, down, as you can see. So that is the inside of the part of the fabric. So you also do the same thing to your lining. Please, whatever you do to your fabric, repeat that to your lining. So I joined the two sides together by the allowance that I added, which is half an inch. So that is it, and this is the inside, this is the lining. So it's time to join the front panel. So the front panel, join it by the shoulder too, because it's the shoulder dart. So join it by the shoulder. So you join by half an inch. You join by half an inch. You join it by the allowance you've already left on your pattern. So as you can see, this is the front panel. So you repeat it to the other side of the front panel. You join by the half an inch that you left on your pattern, by the allowance you left. So this is the front panel. So after that, it's time to join the neck region of the front panel, the two front panel together. You join it by the neck region. So you join by the half an inch that you left, or any allowance that you left. So it's time to join the front and the back panel together. So this is the center front, that is the center front, that is the center back. So you match the two together. You match all lines together. Please, you need to take your time when joining the neck region. You need to take your time. Don't rush. Take your time when you are joining this. Take your time and make sure you pin. If you don't want to pin, you can decide to hand sew. You can decide to hand sew, but I'm pinning mine. So you join each lines together, making sure they match. As you can see, you do the same thing, making sure they match. You match all lines together. So after you've done that, you sew. Please, at that edge, corner edge area of the back panel of the neck, you need to take your time to do that. That's why I say you can decide to unstitch. If you know it will be very hard for you, you can decide to unstitch, and if you know you are good at it, you can decide to pin then sew. But please make sure you take your time when doing this. As you can see, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I'm making sure I do this cautiously. Take your time, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. So after joining everything together, please notch. If you've joined your neck region together, please notch to avoid this sharp edge, so that the neckline region will sit properly at the neck region of your body. To sit properly, so you need to notch the corner edges. Take your time to do this. Whatever you do to your main fabric, repeat that to your lining. repeat it to your lining. So please take your time and do this. Take your time. Do not rush. Take your time. So you notch, notch, notch. You can see how it is. This is my neck region. And you see how it's sitting properly. So you repeat the same thing to the lining. This is the lining. You repeat the same thing to it. So after you repeat the same thing, then you join everything together. You join everything together by the allowance that you left. You can see I've joined it round. I even inserted pockets. So I joined everything round. So this is it. I joined everything round, and I left 1 inch at the down of the blazer. 1 inch or 2 inch, any one that you prefer, so that it will be easy for me to turn when I want to turn it. So after I've joined everything together, you've marked your body allowance and everything. Then you merge everything together, making each line merge properly. Make sure each line merge properly. All lines are merged together. Then you turn. So I want to insert my sleeve now. So please, after you've merged everything together, you make sure you give it a nice press. You make sure you give it a nice press at the crease line and every other joining that you made on your blazer. Make sure you give it a nice press so that it can sit properly. So for my armhole, I cut 2 pieces for the main fabric and 2 pieces for the lining. So in total, I am having 4 pieces of sleeve. 4 pieces of sleeve. So after I've cut out my sleeve, I notched it and I joined it at the shoulder. So that is where I joined it. So I notched my sleeve and I joined it. I pinned and pinned and pinned and pinned round till I got my proper armhole setting. So please take your time when you are doing this. There's no rush. Don't need to rush. Take your time. So I pinned the sleeve to all the areas, the armhole, on the main fabric and also on the lining. So I repeat the same thing round on the main fabric and on the armhole and on the lining. So after you've done that, you make sure you sew it round. Sew it round and you close your armhole. After you've pinned everything together, sew it round, then you close your armhole. So I've already done that. I've sewn it together and I've closed my armhole. So it's time for me to stitch both sleeves together. So as you can see, you need to take your time when doing this. You pull it out. You can see I'm no longer using the armhole to pull my sleeve out. I'm not using the 2 inches that I left at the underneath the blazer. I turned it through there. I pull out my armhole. Make sure right side facing each other. Right side facing. You need to take your time when you are doing this. Right side facing each other, as you can see me doing. This is not left side facing right side. This is right side facing each other. So the left side is facing outside. So you can see me doing. I pull out the lining sleeve and I did the same thing to the main fabric sleeve. I pulled it out. After I pulled it out, see the joining. Make sure the two joining merge together. Please take your time when you are doing this. Take your time. Make sure you take your time. You can decide to unstitch first, then you pull it out to see if it's the correct thing or not. So right side facing each other. You can see the right side are facing each other, and I pinned. Then I repeat the same thing round. I make sure they match properly. Please, if it does not match properly, please, you can do your correction. This is where your correction will take place. Then after you've done that, you've pinned, you sew round. So I've done that, and you can see there's no stitch coming outside. Everything is inside. Everything is inside. When I turn it to the other side, you can see there's no stitch. Everything is inside. So you need to take your time when you are doing this. So that is the 2 inches allowance that I left. Then I will do, you can either sew it or you do your invisible stitch. So after that, you give it a nice press, and you're good. And you're good to go. So this is the finished look. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my video. God bless you.